Conservative MP Steve Barclay is a member of the Public Accounts Committee. He told me it's the implementation of universal credit rather than the idea itself which worries him.
Well, I think we've got to recognise first it's a very good policy that they're pursuing, and to be fair to officials, it's an extremely difficult programme. But when you do look at that tight timescale and look at where the pilots are now, it is increasingly challenging to see how we are going to deliver both on time, on budget, and within the scope originally intended. If we do need to take a bit longer, then I think we should be prepared to do so.
You were quite robust in your questioning of Robert Devereux, the Permanent Secretary at the Department, in the course of the committee's inquiry, and the conclusions of this report say there's some surprise that he, who's referred to as the accounting officer, but that's obviously his other title, as it were, in terms of this project, and his team should have been more alert in identifying and acting on early warning signs that things were going wrong. Do you think that the Permanent Secretary really has to take responsibility for this?
Well, the Permanent Secretary is the accounting officer, so yes, he does, and I'm sure Mr. Devereux himself would say he has to take responsibility. And the points I was highlighting through my questions were those reflected also by the National Audit Office and by the PwC report. It talked of a defensive culture within the team. We've had a significant churn in terms of the leadership of the programme, some of those through unfortunate circumstances, through someone dying, but also significant change as well. And really, the main concern I had with Mr. Devereux's evidence was the fact that he appeared not to be aware of significant problems with the programme until a surprisingly late stage. And when this is the biggest programme for the department, you would have thought the accounting officer would have been more engaged and more aware when it was going off track far earlier than his evidence suggested.
You'll have seen the reports in this morning's Times suggesting that Ian Duncan-Smith, Secretary of State, or members of his team approached Conservative members of the committee asking them to point the finger at the Permanent Secretary rather than at ministers. Were you approached?
No, I wasn't, and I can absolutely rebuff that suggestion as far as I was concerned. I was not approached by Ian Duncan-Smith. I was not approached by any of his ministers. I was not approached by any special advisor or anyone else. And I think one thing as a colleague I would say is with Ian Duncan-Smith, he is someone of the utmost integrity, and certainly that's not my experience, and I can be very clear and explicit on that.